14-year-old Nelson was doing YouTube research to find the most direct path to build a six-figure social media marketing agency. But to be honest, he was totally lost. Like, how do I get clients? How do I close those clients? And most importantly, how do I get them good results once I close them? And in my journey of starting a social media marketing agency that reached well over six figures, with me documenting from start to finish how I closed $2,000 clients, $4,000 clients, $7,500 clients with an average retention being 12 months, I think I had some answers for young little Nelson. So I hopped on a call with him. So you said this was your main things you wanted to focus on this call, right? How to get clients. How can I close those clients? How can I get them great results? And how can I keep them for long periods of time, right?
Yeah.
So of course, dude, like all these skills are needed to run an agency. Like
Yeah.
you're on the money, dude. You are on the money. You need to learn how to get clients for sure in a predictable, easy way. You need to learn how to close them because that's kind of what I focus on now because that's a high income skill.
hmm
Very important. How do you do service delivery? And then how can you sustain and retain that client a long time? Dude,
Yeah.
you've got the four most important things down for running an agency, without a
Uh-huh.
doubt. Let's just focus on one of these questions. Let's focus on the first one. How do you get clients?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
This can be reframed. The skill that you're asking about is prospecting.
Prospecting.
Prospecting and or appointment setting. That's the skill you have to learn. And if you've been paying
Yeah.
attention to any of my recent videos, dude, you know that appointment setting itself is a skill that people focus their entire jobs on and companies pay good money for. Why do you think that is?
Because without clients, they like the business cannot like even function. You can't like make profit. You can't do any of that stuff.
For sure. You're right. You're right. Without clients, the business can't function, right?
Uh-huh.
And to have someone do that skill really well, it takes time to learn that skill efficiently,
hmm
right? So, Malcolm Gladwell has this book. I don't know if you've read it. I think it might be Outliers, and he outlined this concept that it says it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill.
Yeah, I've
We're
heard that
talking
before.
like Yeah, we're talking like masterful level. You're like pro violinist type thing. Just
Huh?
to give you context, dude, if you were to watch the 10 best movies every year for the last 100 years, like the 10 best at the Oscars, that's like a
Yeah.
thousand movies. That would only take you 2,000 hours to watch,
Yeah.
right? That's like over 1,000 movies you're watching, right? We're talking 10,000. That's quite a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. So this prospecting appointment setting thing, you're in the knowledge and learning phase right now, right?
hmm
That might take you to get really good at, let's just call it 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just a general kind of rough estimate. Before you're like really proficient at the skill, that might take you 1,000 hours. Okay. Then if we go on to your next skill, how can you close them? That skill is really just closing and or sales. Like I said, with appointment setting, companies will hire individual people just for that skill alone. Same reasons that you said, because companies need clients and it
Uh-huh.
takes someone really dedicated to learning that skill to understand how to close them. That might also take you 1,000 hours to get really good at. Next, how can I get them great results and a good ROI? That's very, very important as well. That is essentially that skill is fulfillment or service delivery. If you are good at Facebook ads, Google ads, dude, media buyers as a term. Have you heard that before? Media
Yeah.
buyers,
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah. Yeah. You can
dude.
like
Me,
hire them and stuff.
yeah, yeah. You can hire them. You can go to places and find them. You can go to. I'm working with a guy right now, a media buyer from Croatia. Okay, and
Uh-huh.
I pay him $1,000 per client that he manages because we've got another client right now that's paying me like 3,500 a month. So he gets
hmm
like 1/3 of that.
hmm
But dude, he's got like, I don't know, 10 clients. You know what I mean? And he's still not full time, working his hours. So he's making this massive income only doing focusing on fulfillment, or just let's just call it, since we're talking about in a in a agency context, this is more media buying actually, sorry. That again, that's a full-time skill that can make you money. And then finally, dude, your last thing here is keep them for a long period of time. That's just like retention slash customer service. When I started my agency, dude, I was terrible at client management and customer service and retention. So I hired my sister, who's much better with that. I paid her
Mhm.
like 600 a month, and she would talk to my clients every day. And then over time I invested the 1,000 hours to get there. And now I'm at a point where I can comfortably do that. If you were to just focus on this skill, dude, okay,
Mhm.
you can get to 10K a month. Likewise, if you were to just focus on this skill, that could get you to 10K. If you were just to do media buying like my boy, you could get to 10K. And then retention and customer service might be a little harder to do that, but I think if you're working with the right clients, you could also get to 10K. Because if you're retaining a customer for an extra 6 months with your skill, that 6 months might be worth 60 grand to, I don't know, the business or something like that. I don't know. And then you get a chunk of that. So yeah, what I'm trying to say here, man, is like each one of these skills that you focus on can get you that money, right?
Mhm.
But it takes you in total 4,000, or it takes you 1,000 hours each to learn.
Yeah.
Okay. You are asking here, dude, how do I get all this stuff? Like you're asking for like, how do I do everything? And it's going to take you so long to learn all this stuff. And so if you were to start an agency, let's say in the summer, when do you get off? Like July 1st, sort of thing?
Yeah. Just,
Let's just say, yeah, like July 1st, something like that, right?
mhm.
And you still study every day like you're doing right now. Let's say you start, and when you start, you maybe have like something like this. You've got 250 hours learning prospecting, 100 hours learning sales, maybe not too much in media buying, 50 hours, but like you spend a lot of time on customer service. So you spend 3 hours on 300 hours on customer service. Okay.
Mhm.
And then you're like, cool, let me start an agency right now. Right. Right here. We got Nelson's agency.
Yeah.
And then you go out, you try to find some clients, you try to close them, you try to provide media buying, and then you try to retain them over a long period of time. Okay.
Yeah.
With these numbers of knowledge on each area, how
Uh,
how successful do you think that agency would be?
Probably not that good. Yeah. Probably not that well
Why do you say that?
because you don't really know what you're doing.
So what do you think would happen if you, I don't know, maybe you do prospect some clients and then you do close them, but you
Uh-huh.
don't really spend that much time out in media buying? What do you
Uh-huh.
think would then happen?
You won't be able to get them good ROI.
Yeah. And then,
They'll get mad and stop working with you.
yeah, they might even ask for a refund, dude.
Yeah.
You won't even work with them for 1 month because you can't do this and you can't do this, right?
Yeah.
And you might have spent, because you're okay at these things, because you're not the best but you're okay, you might have spent like tons of time just trying to get the appointment and just trying to close that client, and then you finally get them, and then they only stay for 1 month, and maybe you refund them 50% because you're not so good. You can start an agency, Nelson. Like you can, anyone can, and anyone can and should start a business eventually. But these skills kind of go downwards on like what you can learn in order, per se, right?
Yeah.
If you start with prospecting, dude, and let's say you don't focus on anything else, you just focus on prospecting, and by July or whatever, you've got your 1,000 hours in. You remember what I just said earlier? You get
Yeah.
1,000 hours in prospecting, you can make
Mhm.
10K just from prospecting.
Yeah.
So, what I might suggest, Nelson, if that's okay with you,
Yeah.
spend from now till July learning the
Uh-huh.
prospecting, getting those 1,000 hours. When
Yeah.
July hits, instead of starting your agency, get an appointment setter job. Okay.
Hmm.
and run that from 6 to 12 months. Do that from 6 to 12 months and get really, really good at setting appointments. And then only after you've gotten really, really good at setting appointments and you've learned that skill, you've mastered it, maybe in, end of this year, January, call it, we'll say January, move up in that company and get a closing job and maybe do that for however, like just say another year. Okay. So now you've
Yeah.
got a year, now you've got 6 months to a year of appointment setting, 6 months to a year of closing. So you're really good at sales. And because customer service actually kind of fits more into like people skills and sales skills, this might be a better, kind of thing to hop in after that. Then just like start learning this. Now, dude, if you want to start your agency, you can easily set appointments for it. You can easily close those appointments. You're a beast at both. You've made 10K a month at 15 and 16 years old in high school learning these two things. And then if you want to start an agency at 17, which is when Iman Gadzhi started his agency, all you have to do now is use your sales skills to convince a really talented media buyer to work with you and just spend some time learning retention. And then
Mhm.
that agency is going to see a way, way larger percent of success. Like you're going to be way more likely to make 10, 20, even 30K a month if you nail down those foundational skills. So the big thing to just remember, dude, is when you run an agency or other business models,
Mhm.
you need to have 5 or 6 skills that you're really good at to make it work. You're in your education phase, which is great. Find a way to focus, hyper focus on individual skills. Spend 6 months at a time learning individual skills. That's kind of the principles of what I'm saying. You don't have to start with being an appointment setter or whatever. Maybe you're really excited about being a media buyer. You can start there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like just hyper focus on one skill for 6 months to a year to get really good at something.